Okay, what can I interact with? Collecting rainwater. Looks like I have a lot to interact with as I get to them. 3 packs worth of cigarette butts, numerous empty bottles from the Commodore Red, and potent Pilsner. All those empty wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really hard here. Did I do this? Well, Lieutenant looks at you, and then the bottles... Yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. This is really sad. I must have been miserable. Yes, the Lieutenant agrees. This scene isn't exactly ripping with joy. Let's just move on. He turns to leave. I can't go back in there. Okay, so, you know what? Let's talk to
Yes.
Kitsuragi for a bit. Tell me about the case. What do you want to know? Literally anything about it. I can't remember a single thing. Maybe you can tell me what you do know and help me narrow it down a bit. I know literally nothing about it, only what you told me before. Do you want me to brief you? Brief? Yes, that sounds good. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in the Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and logistics company, Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. Wait, does the briefing say who the victim was? A security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. This is just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. Why didn't we know anything about the caller? They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk couldn't identify neither the caller's age nor sex. Why hide themselves? There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The Dockers Union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now, it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. Of course. Yes, I understand everything now. Okay. Secret task complete. Ask about the case. Okay. Let's see. If we're from different precincts, why are we on the same case? I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition. What do you mean? You don't know? His eyes narrow. I assumed you were in on it. You know what I'm in on. Retrograde amnesia. Better still than an imbecilic cop-off. Cop-off? It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. You want my take? Ask me after we've inspected the victim. Just tell me now, this seems relevant. Later, his voice is unflinching. Is there anything else you want to know about the case? I got all I need now. Let's see, case again. I think you should know I can't remember anything. He just arches his brow. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even. I really don't remember anything. Okay, forget it. Now. Okay. I want to talk about you. Me? Yes, you. Let's see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. We'll work better together if we have more rapport. Huh, that's a fair point. Alright, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? You're wearing glasses. That's correct. You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this, but you can't quite muster enough testosterone. Just observing. Because you don't need glasses then. So you don't look like other people around here. That's because I'm half Sealite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seal. So, Seal? Seoul? Maybe? I guess he's Korean. Or kind of this version of. I'm very confused about this, because, like, I'm pretty sure all of these are imaginary places, but they're just too close to reality that, like, I can't help but compare them as analogs. Anyway. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. He shakes his head. It's not an interesting topic. What is soul? It's a part of the world, officer, a geopolitical entity, and a geographic division. I told you, it wouldn't be interesting. Sola's a protectionist, isolationist, peninsulary state west of the Insulated Isola. Actually, it's quite interesting. Some would even say mysterious. You're only making it sound uninteresting. I want to know more about Seol. You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never even met one of my grandparents. Either one of my grandparents, and I've never been to Seol. I should probably call it Seoul, though. Kim is a typical Japanese name. I'm honestly really bad at these things. Also, Kim is usually a last name from what I've experienced. And isn't Kitsuragi closer to Japanese? Because Kim, I've known a lot of Kims, but that was all their last name. I don't think I've ever met any Korean with a first name of Kim that I know of. Whereas, like, I've had tons of friends with the last name Kim. But Kitsuragi, that sounds more Japanese, yeah? So, yeah, mixed of Japanese and Korean then. Yeah, it's fine. I wish I was more of an expert on these things just so I wouldn't, like, stick my foot into my mouth. But, let's see. I think Kim Jong-un, but Kitsuragi is definitely Japanese. But Kim Jong is the family name, because Un and Il and I forget the rest of that family, just because I think half of them are even dead. But Kim Jong is actually like the familial name as opposed to, unless it's how it's presented here. But Kitsuragi is very much a last name. So I don't know. It's confusing. I wish I was more of an expert on this, but my exposure is very limited. Anyway, tell me a secret about yourself. Lieutenant raises a single eyebrow. No. Alright. Do you ever talk with yourself? What do you mean? You know, when you're thinking. Do you ever have conversations with yourself? Like your brain? I have no idea what you're talking about. The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary. The lieutenant is a police officer of the old school. His concerns are material and extrinsic. But this isn't an old school case. I get it. So you're one of those old school detectives. So what? That makes you the new school? God spare us. For real detective work, nothing beats a good notebook by your side. Lieutenant produces a small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. We have our different mediums. His is written. That's all for now. Alright. So we've learned some stuff. Now, I thought I'd be dealing with the body. Whoops. God, go back. There we go. All around you, great machines in quiescence. White pine trees are printed onto the screen covering. Looks like a forest under snow. I guess I can zoom out a bunch. There's a lady there. And there's this thing, whatever this is. Main control panel. A rusting control panel with several knobs, 2 buttons marked with Alimer and Tindre. Atandre? I don't know. Probably, well, it's not Entendre. It's Atandra. Are faded with use. It seems to control a large crane above. A container is attached to the hook block. Okay, let's leave for a second. We're going to save, because this sounds like something that's... Oh. This sounds like something that's going to get me in trouble. We're going to turn it off. Turn it on. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. Ooh, I do not like that sound. That sound is a bad sound. But now we made ourselves a bridge, maybe. Or, no, we've got ourselves inside this thing. And so, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. Easy success. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. Its purpose? What do you mean? Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it has acted. And now it will rest. I can't see how that was worth the ruckus. Looks at the crate. Except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying. Okay, let's get up there and investigate further. Come on, run, you absolute... Ugh. What do we got here? A little bit of money. And some healing items. It really expects me to take a lot of damage, doesn't it? You see in faded industrial letters on the platform. Kavalsund. Okay. Let's save. Let's check this out. Oh. Before you use stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard. Kim, I think there's something about this container. You do? Because I don't. Well, why not? A million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? I don't know, Kim. Just feels special. It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others. He doesn't even look at it. We're not here to interact with containers. We're here to talk to the Union, right? Open the door. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The door seems to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. Knock on the door. No reply. Nothing more to do here. Kavalsund means whale fjord in Arden. Well, mechanically locked for the time being. I can't get that. Let's see. After reading this game, no one got time for that. I got time for that. I'm liking this. Not every game needs to just be like run and gun. Oh, I see. That's how we get access to the other side. But you don't have to have every game just be like Doom 2016 where you're just running around shooting stuff left and right. Like, sometimes it's fun to play a game that's just exploration and learning, I guess? I don't know. Okay, the machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Challenging. Let your muscle memory dial a random number. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the air. Useful patterns? Undoubtedly no. Okay. So I think I might have to reload that one. Because I think I'm stuck. We can go back to the quick save, because there's nothing, like, we're just gonna go back. We haven't done anything since the last save, anyway. Because I saved right before trying to open the container. And I can't open the container, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's see. The Whale Fjord. Let's see. Yeah, I'm liking this game. It's one of the few games where dialogue really matters. If you notice, information that we gain from doing one thing or another actually impacts future actions. By knowing something relevant to something that I'm doing, I actually get a bonus. Beyond just like we can even kind of look at this, maybe. Let's see. White check, you may retry it. Got it. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005, that's the dialing code for Revicol. 4952, and a final moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers, 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling, then... Crackle. Someone picks up. They say, Video Revicol, 24-hour video rental, where we rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lemmy. How may I help you? What is this place? Video Revicol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lemmy. Do you know me? No. What is this place to me? Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here. Why did I call you? Maybe you called to extend your rental period. Do you need to extend your rental period? Maybe. I don't even know my name. If you need any further assistance, you can visit us on the corner of Voyager and Main. He sounds annoyed now. I can't help you over the phone. Are we done? Call is terminated by the other party. They left with the discomforting sound of the disconnect tone. What else do I have? Got a postcard, another postcard, and yeah, the empty cassette case, which is not super helpful. Okay, can I get out of here? No, so I need a card to get out. Guess you have no choice but to talk to the union leader. If I can figure out how to get there. Oh, you need to do something behind Kitsuragi's back. Sneak out after he's gone to sleep. Interesting. Okay. So... I guess we gotta go find the union leader to even escape this side, because I am stuck here. Can't go down those stairs. Everything else is super limited on where I can go, what I can do. So can I... How do I even get anywhere? Oh, we can keep going this way. I was worried time was going to be more of an issue, but so far we seem to be doing okay. Shipyard ahead is oddly quiet. The great machines are sleeping. I kind of also enjoy the retro tech aspect to this. I do kind of hope we get into some paranormal, but I think that's just me. Mikutao is silent. There's no work to organize in the yard. Okay. But, like, I'd love to play a game like this that is kind of mixed with Tales from the Loop. The musk of oil and rust comes from the chasm beyond you. It smells like blood. Okay, so we can't get that open. See, there's an option with the lockers in the room. I tried that, but I sucked, so I'll have to come back. Industrial-sized thermos. Smells like burnt coffee. Well, oh, hi. We have a man.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
Easy Leo. The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi. From the vanishing peninsula of Ubisant on Mundi.
Container, container, used to be Walpines. Container, container, now belongs to Everett.
The tiny man is so engaged in his work, he doesn't notice you. Hi.
Everett, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister? I see you're not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
A shadow passes over his kind face. Nope.
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
He doesn't seem to be waiting for you to answer.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
You're Ubi, right? Oh yes, born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know that there was never any of that where I came from. No, sir, those are just nasty rumors. Thank you for clarifying that, sir. What are you doing with the containers? Oh, I'm just making some covers for them. Them containers here. Yes, I am. So, it's easier for the crane operators to spot them. He waves at the containers towering behind him. What's going on here? Look at the mountains of container rising behind him. Containers in the yard are Green and Wild Pine's livery, and the mountain rising behind Leo is all red in Union colors. It's like some red infection was spreading outward from the container's yard core. This looks like a massive redecorating operation, Kim. Yes, they're hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have Debidor's Union logo on them. Leo, has anyone told you why you need to change the covers? No, not really. He shrugs and continues merrily. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. Thanks, Leo. You've been very helpful. Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. The little guy affirms merrily. Where is everyone? The harbor is empty. Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. He leans in with a confidential look.
We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked in 2 months now.
So no one is working? Not everyone down here, of course, he chuckles. Mr. Everett is in his office, where he always is, and Jean-Luc is guarding the gate, pauses to think. But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble, and Everett sent them on a nice vacation for a week or so. He stops, but seems eager to tell you more. What kind of trouble did Titus and his friends get into? Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that. That's union business. He smiles and leans closer.
Him and his boys stirred something up in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to go take some time off.
But what did they actually do? I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let off some steam. I really don't know the details. That's just how boys are, you know? Another chuckle. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school. Easy, Leo. Keep this on the parties. He looks at you for assistance. Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow. Too rowdy. Leo, what kind of fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary? Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving and words are spewing forth. Words, and look. Even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who, no, he already switched to priced fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions. Do you work here? Yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick, but everyone calls me Leo. The man raises his hand in a welcoming gesture. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar's out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away. He chuckles. Actually, Miss Buford is the right-hand man, but she's a lady. A good-hearted chuckle again. Who's this Miss Buford? The lieutenant looks up at Leo. A real pretty lady with skin like those dew and sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done, and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here, and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes, I am. So, who is she, though? Oh, Lizzie, she's a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything. East of the river. 4 years she was gone. When she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. He respects that word. That's obvious. She's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood. Everyone, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure. He goes on. If me, Mrs. and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her, but she can't have kids. Dr. Lambertry said... This is... okay. So, Everett trained a lawyer named Miss Buford. Interesting. You're doing a great job around here, Leo. This place seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo. The lieutenant smiles at the little man. Well, thanks a lot coming from you. It means a lot, really. I didn't think it was possible, but the smile becomes even wider. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright. What's in the container over there? Oh, that one. He looks at the container. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up. Looking for the leader of the dock workers union. Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow. He is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives here in this neighborhood. He coughs, then continues immediately. Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys. Easy now, Leo. I just want to know where I can find the man. Oh, Mr. Everett's where he always is, in his office, of course. He points to the 2 joint containers to your right. Alright, I'm off. Bye-bye now. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The banner sags under the weight of the rain and snow. White waves on red. So I'm gonna save. We're gonna go in here and check this out. And then I'm gonna eat my pizza, and then we will switch games. But I wanted to talk to Mr. Everett while we were here. I was kind of hoping we get into combat just to see what it's like, but we might not. Almost ever. Coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm. A stair made of pallets leading up. Damn, that's a big dude. With some horrid posture. Taxidermy fish that tells time. Let's see, there's no normal combat in this, only through skill checks. Oh, that's actually really nice. I appreciate that. Because, you know, I was kind of worried making my character kind of crappy at combat. Or, I guess, physical. But I love the fact that it's just skill checks, because that makes way more sense and feels a lot better. Let's talk to this guy. Before you is a walrus of a man, seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. You in charge of the dock workers?
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
He gestures to a tiny chair opposite his giant desk.
I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debargeurs Union here in Martinez.
The man relaxes into his chair and continues.
I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
The lieutenant nods at you, then the chair. Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name. Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner as equals. Take a seat, I insist.
It's nothing. Yeah, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out. Take
Excellent,
a seat.
Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
He gives you a sly wink. Remain serious.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debargeurs Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting in has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Garte. Some people have no manners. Pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically
It
huge.
should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with the cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
He points at it again. Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it. Wait, you know Gart?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the check again. It's like you're on a game show. At least, don't thank him for it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
Nah, it's cool.
Cool? Wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager, but sure, if that's what's cool nowadays. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun. Lost gun. Lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. I would appreciate any help you could
Are
provide.
you all right, Harry? You seem anxious. Well, don't be. Everything's going to be all right.
It's my name, Harry Dubois.
It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded. Okay, God, you're sweating, your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry, because you lost your gun and those children are going to shoot themselves with it. So what? Men can cry too. You want to cry? God, you're weak. Whatever you do, don't cry. He'll think you're disgusting.
Mr. Bois, you don't look so good.
What is this Mr. Bois he keeps repeating? What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool down. Chill.
Mr. Bois! Mr. Bois! Harry!
The large man snaps his fingers, but to no effect. You're in some kind of stupor. There are no Harrys. Let your mind go to your safe place.
Mr. Bois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hand somehow. Kind of in a throwing motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois back at him. He's Mr. Dubois. Actually, this chair is uncomfortable. I could use that glass of water.
What an odd demonstration of... Huh? You got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time, and I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together, ask him questions. Police officer questions. I want to talk about the hanging. Oh, of course, that's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez, he nods. I know everything that goes around around here, and I would love to discuss it with you. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much talk about it. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily, I understand. You need to interview me. I sense there's a but. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open. Yes, that sounds good, the lieutenant says with a slow nod. Let's do that. But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. Suddenly he slaps himself on the forehead. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors. I've opened a few doors in my life. And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. He chuckles. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it. Whose door is it? Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. Weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. What do you mean by weasel? A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. He removes his glasses and rubs his nose. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you. Puts his glasses back on. Why don't you open it yourself? Harry, I'm a busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that kind of extraordinary physique that you do. He slams his fists together. You look like you could run around all day. You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you. I repeat, I'm a very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. Turns back to you. So what will it be, Harry? I bet you don't even know about the hanging. Harry, my dear friend, he sinks deeper into the chair. I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez. No. Of course, Harry, I understand, but if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever find your gun. Ever worse, we won't be able to speak like equals about the murder. Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always come back for me. I really hope you do, he winks at you. For your sake, and my sake, and your gun's sake, too. Lieutenant sighs. Yes, we both understand what you meant. This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you, in fact. We probably should reconsider later. Let's talk about my lost gun. Yes, your lost gun. His face turns serious. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you that. It's just a matter of time and effort. The only way to find it seems to be working with him. They might even be holding your gun hostage. Hold on. Could he really hold my gun hostage? Who knows? Only one thing is certain. You work with him, you're going to get it back. and working with him might be the only way to do it. Does this mean if I do things for you, I'll get my gun back? Damn it, Harry, that's exactly what it means. He turns to the lieutenant. I'm only kidding, of course. Of course, the lieutenant replies dryly. I understand. We help you, you help us. You call me Mr. Dubois. Why? Of course, let's dispatch with the formalities. You call me Evart, I call you Harry. So that's really my name? My god, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? He shrugs with an amazed expression. What are the odds of that? I think the odds of that, he looks at you, are very low. It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first. Okay. Just testing you. So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources are wrong. He pats the brown folder in front of him. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out with my big fat folder. Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter, no harm done. Are you trying to tell me you've gotten a hold of some of our documents? The lieutenant inspects Evart over his spectacles. Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? His eyes never leave yours. Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now. Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on edge. Do some probing first. Let's get this straight. What's my full name? It's Harry. He glances at the folder. Harry Dubois. Wait, I thought you were Harry Dubois. No, I'm really, really not. You are Harry. I don't really like it. Don't be silly, Harry. He smiles broadly. Harry Dubois. That's a real man's name. A union man's. The lieutenant covers his face and sighs audibly. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. Frowns at Kim. I, however, wishes to help you in any way I can. Do you know where I live? But of course, Harry. He nods. Your precinct is 41st, and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy, a long way from home, but that's okay. He doesn't really seem to know any more about it. What kind of cop does it say I am? Well, Harry, he turns a couple of pages in the folder. If I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic. I'm sorry? Yes, he inspects you over his giant bug-eye glasses. You seem to be. A lot of the time. But right now, there's no reason to be. Let loose a little. Be you. He's probably just making guesses based on your recent activity in Martinez. Where'd you get that folder? Ah, this. My friends at your organization gave it to me, Harry. This translates to, haha, you guys are so corrupt. I find that very suspicious. May I have a look? I'm afraid this is meant for union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. He turns back to you. Please continue, Harry. Have another look at that folder. Kim suspects something. Bonus! Nope. Everett's large hands are covering the folder, but he looks at it. But the look on his face says, I know everything about you, Harry. I got nothing to hide. Oh, Harry. He peeks into the folder as if it's hard to turn away from the mysteries inside. Oh, wow, this is really something. Sure, it's not all that bad, the lieutenant whispers. At worst, he has an old RCM folder, and I very much doubt even that. So how about it, Harry? You need assistance, I assume. Yeah. Reload? Let's reload. This whole thing has gone not really my way, and that's fine, because I'm a cop with goddamn time control powers. Yeah, I don't think I succeeded, like, a single check so far, and that's annoying. So I'm gonna eat some pizza while we catch back up to where we were. Okay, so I guess I can't really catch up to where I was, because we're gonna do things slightly differently this time. I'm gonna go faster, though. In charge of the dock workers.
Welcome, Mr. I'd offer you my hand.
I'm just skipping
Go
along
ahead,
this.
detective.
Okay, so I'd rather stand.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
I don't sit. It's kind of my thing.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions.
As he nods, his multiple chins move like ocean waves.
I too have convictions, one of which is that I will not engage any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
Wow. So, some of these just require value summer rolls. Well, this sucks.
Excellent, Mr.
Take a
Dubois.
seat.
I can see that
Wink
you're...
back.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarges Union help a representative of the Revachol...
Oh, by the
Okay.
This, it should be sufficient to cover your
So I'm
expenses
just
for a
skipping
few
through
days
these.
and patch over your... Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No, is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or... Cool? Now,
Okay, so he's pissed. Not
Are
worried
you
I got
right,
this.
Harry? You say it's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose
Okay.
a loaded gun.
So the
Local
composure
children aren't
challenging
out
is
there
going to be
playing with
almost
it right
impossible.
now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling, Mr. Dubois. Mr. Dubois. Mr. Dubois. Mr. Dubois, are you okay?
Okay,
Can I
I'm
get
getting
you a
sick
glass
of hearing
water
Mr.
or
Dubois.
something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency? What an odd
Okay, enough. We are here
So-
to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
There's a lot here. Let's see, since there's the butt, open a few doors. We're going to refuse the task. Okay, so we don't have to hear him anymore. Let's see. So let's go with this line of questioning, because this was the one that I was really close on. Okay, so I can just press spacebar, so I can go a little bit faster instead of clicking. Okay. So I'm just going to go through all of these. Okay, I didn't ask about family. Family, Harry, you're not a family man. Unless there's not one peep of family in there. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man? Think I do, I'd be a wonderful father. Well, yes, he looks around uninterested, and I'm sure you're going to make one little boy or girl very happy and proud one day, Harry. What kind of cop does it say I am? Okay, so... let's see. Where did you get that folder? And corrupt. And trauma medium 11. I should be able to get this. It's just RNG. And there we go. As you look at the folder, Everett covers it with his hands and pets it. He's hiding it from you. Because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet. That's not an RCM folder. Okay, Harry, you got me, he says, grinning. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them. Got the name from the Census Bureau and everything else from your actions here in Martinez. Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi, from the Census Bureau, like I said. He looks annoyed. Now, I'm actually a very busy man, so is there anything else I can do for you, Harry? Doesn't mean he really knows anything about you. Easy success. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being. So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois. Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on. Let's see, aren't you going to ask how I got in? Harry, he says almost gently, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age. Say nothing. Big man peers at you over the rims of his glasses for a moment, then interlaces his fingers and rests his chin on his hands. Okay, lost gun. Gun being hostage. Okay, so track down my gun, but I don't want to do that. Ask about the hanging, and say nothing. So yeah, can't do anything with this. Okay, so I think I'm kind of stuck here. I don't really want to cooperate with this guy because he's an absolute asshole. So Everett, I'm gonna leave now, but we might talk again later. Wait, he leans, reaches into his drawer and pulls out a plastic card. You need this to get in and out of the gate. Great, I'm gonna want to get stuck in here. Here, you're one of us now, a real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry. Okay, so now we can at the very least leave, which is good. because that would have sucked. This guy sucks, and I don't like him. I took some damage there, which isn't great. In general, not super happy about how that went, but I think no matter what, you're not supposed to have the upper hand on that man. That sounded weird, but whatever. We're gonna have to work on... We're gonna have to just do stuff to not suck. And, I just don't see that working out particularly well for at least a little while. I think our baseline default existence is just terrible. Yeah, unfortunately we can't get this open. That is very loud. But at least we can leave. So if I had gotten those files open earlier, I would have been able to identify the folder that he had as just another one of those brown folders. But I couldn't and didn't, and that's fine. Okay, so let's just get up and... Oh, this is the wrong way, isn't it? I really wish there was an easier way to navigate this area. Or, no, I do have to go up here. Because the only way out of here is through this weird roof. This place is not conveniently organized, let me tell you. Also, I look ridiculous. But that's fine. So can I get this filing cabinet open? Probably not. I haven't even looked at the corpse yet. I was trying to figure out how to get it down. There was that one ladder, but no dice. Yeah, so I need higher volition, which might actually be... I will get at least one more point in volition for that, but also, like, we've needed in the past. We're gonna need everything eventually. Just time. Anywho. Oh, they actually have pronunciation keys. That's cool. So there's a lady over here, yeah? Cool. We'll talk to her. We'll talk to these people, but we'll talk to them later. Let's see, can I just rename this? Cool. Later.